Hey everyone. Merry late Christmas. A lot of people will say that Christmas is over, you gotta stop the Christmas music, but I disagree. My Christmas ends somewhere within January. I'm a Christmas celebrator. I used to not be. I used to not be a big Christmas person. Hey Brushed. Hey JS. Chris Spot. Who else we got in here? Brody. Sprinty. Christmas doesn't end until New Year's. Yeah, keep the festivities going. Keep the celebration, whether it be Christmas or, Hanukkah or any other type of holiday. I personally celebrate Christmas, so that's what I say, but we all know it. Happy holidays. All the good stuff, all the good celebration and fun. Snow, if you get snow in your region. I normally don't get snow until February, but don't tell you you're crumbling the comic. I am. Yeah, and that's the compendium, so imagine how strong I must be to be able to crumble that like that. Christmas starts in July. I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit. Again, we don't ever need it to be louder than me, just a little bit in the background. We did not get snow this Christmas, surprisingly, but it snowed last night. Nice. Did you have a good Christmas, Mr. Delta? I did. It was very busy. My Christmas schedule is always all over the place because Mrs. Tryon has a very large family, so where there's normally about 6 different Christmases to celebrate, all in different areas. So there's a lot of travel. But yeah, our last Christmas was yesterday, I think, so... Yeah, so for me and Mrs. Tryon, Christmas is not one day. It's kind of normally a week or 2 weeks long worth of festivities. So people are like, oh man, you get a party a lot. Yeah, it's also very tiring. So suffering from having fun, I guess. Did you get any Reveltech toys? I did not. No. It's been in the 70s here. Yeah, it was about 85 degrees on Christmas for myself. But it is dropping. Tonight it's going to drop into the 30s. So that's Texas for you. So what do we think? Is the music too loud? I'm going to keep it super low so I can still hear it, but I want to make sure that my microphone is not picking up the Christmas music. It does not need to be loud, just very faint background noise is what we need. How are you liking your Sea Spray? I love that Sea Spray figure. The transformation is a little clunky. The more I've messed with it, the more issues I have with the figure, but, in terms of the physical feel, I think it's a very premium deluxe figure. So that makes me feel a little bit better given the price I spent on it. But our weather here is ridiculous. It snows every 10 years, literally. Yeah, that used to be what my area was like. But February we get some pretty serious freezes. We'll see if we get it this next year. I got War for Cybertron, Warpath in ESP. Yeah, that's the Kingdom version, right? I never handled that figure. That's one of the mini bots that I do not have. Should we all just rattle off what we got for Christmas? Yeah, why not? Why not, chat? Just rattle off what everybody got for Christmas. Why not? Let's see what everybody what everybody received. What did Santa bring everybody? Also, if you're wondering how I'm able to put that Christmas hat on my head, given the fact that I have a very pirate-shaped head, I have no idea. The wings fold up. How about Skybound G.I. Joe Volume 2? Sweet, Toucan. Which cover did you get? I have the Major Blood cover. I kind of wish I would have gotten the Beachhead cover, but that's okay. I will. I'll be selling those volumes once book 1 comes out. War for Cybertron Scorponok. Hey, he's huge. I've messed with that figure. I don't own it, but yes, he's huge. Delta already knows what I got. Well, tell him, JS. Only I know. I got the Takara Dramatic Capture Cybertron Chase 3-pack. Transformers Devastation. Transformers Devastation game. Spider-Man 2 PS5, great game. And the IDW Sonic Covers Collection. Nice, nice. The Dramatic Capture Cybertron Chase 3-pack sounds cool. I used to have the Bumblebee, I have the Origins Jazz, and I have messed with the Wheeljack. They're all very fun figures. I think Wheeljack is probably my least favorite, which I think, actually, he's normally people's most favorite, but to each their own. More Blockies figures, I'm collecting them, yeah. I don't know if I ever told you guys, I stepped out of Blockies. I sold my collection. I had the entirety of Waves 1 through 4. I was going to continue collecting, but then they did the big switch over to the kind of 2.0 body styles for Galaxy. Not Galaxy Defender, just Galaxy. And those look super cool, but I didn't want to have to go back and rebuy every figure to have it updated. And so that's when I was like, hey, you know what? I'll step out of Blockies. Bob the Doctor, proud owner of your Inferno and Jazz Blockies. So you're right. Yeah, I did send you the Inferno and Jazz. To be clear, I like the original Blockies figures. I think they're great. I think those 2.0 systems with double jointed knees and the waist articulation, and I think they have thigh joints and a lot more. I think those are great too. I didn't want to go through the process of rebuying all the figures I had in the new updated bodies. And so JS got Star Wars books, some vinyls, a record player stand, a new controller, I think it was a new PS5 controller, right? And a charger, which I really needed. Some sweatshirts, including one for my community college. Nice. Picked up the second Transformers Compendium. Very nice. They did just release a Bruticus Blockies. Yeah, that's in the Defender, isn't it? The smaller guys. That I do kind of want that one, but again, I don't want to collect the whole wave. So, and I'm doing the Age of the Primes Bruticus, so I will just settle for that. Settle. Toucan says way back up there, one talking about which G.I. Joe cover he got, the one where they're walking into the water. Yes, yeah, that's the Beachhead one. I really wish I got that one. But that original piece of art, I think, is still for sale by, I don't think it's Tom Riley. Maybe it is Tom Riley who did it. That original piece, I believe, is still for sale. It's about $1,000, so a decent price on that, but not within the cards for me. Maybe Carl from Carl's collection can grab it. Maybe he can buy it and send it to me for free. Please, Carl. Yep, PS5 stick drift, not so fun. Yeah, my original PS5 controller has some stick drift. Not great. Not great. I got a Steam Deck, says Cryptic. New pair of headphones, Yellow Park Transformers 1, Optimus Megatron. Awesome, yeah. The Steam Decks look really cool. One of my siblings has one of those. Delta confirmed to have siblings. Brushed already let us know what he got for Christmas. Let me scroll back up and look at it. Oh, man. Ranger got a new chair, a new quote-unquote 2DS XL, which those things are so awesome, coming in the mail. Age of the Primes Wasp, and some comics like Spotlight Trail Cutter and Ramjet, as well as some slippers. Very nice, everybody. Ooh, I scrolled too far. Brody got 86 Magnus. He's so cool, very chunky. Man, I so wish I kind of kept my pre-order for him back when he was $80. I'm sure he is still, but I really want that figure. I'm probably gonna have to track one down. I'm very thankful that 86 Magnus is more available now that because of the reissue. But I had a pre-order for it, but I canceled it. But I'll probably go back and get him. He's just super cool. What character hasn't been made yet that you would want in Blockies? Personally, I want more fembots in both Defender and Galaxy class. I think we're looking out for that, Chris, especially because with the next wave coming out, it has the RC. It's very 86 movie based. But I am super excited for Defenders doing Beast Wars. Alpha Trion, Delta Trion, and Zerta Trion, your siblings. We don't talk about Zerta Trion. She betrayed us. Can you show us your updated comic collection? I see your Instagram stories, but I don't know the scale of your comic collection. How do you get started on building one so big? Yeah, we're going to look at that today. And also, Cryptic, if you're interested in diving into the more general comic aspect of the channel, I do have a second channel. Let me grab the link. As per usual, you guys know I'm horrible at plugging my own stuff, so I have to go find it. Me typing in. I have a I hate calling it a second channel because it makes it sound like it's not as important to me. It's just another channel that I run that I actually run a little bit more often. So Cryptic, if you're interested in more comic stuff. Oh, we got an ad. If you're interested in more comic stuff, then that's the channel to go to. Let me skip this ad here real quick. Let me mute it. Okay, there we go. That was a close one. Did anybody else get 2 tubs of hot chocolate mix? No, but that sounds good. JS also got Resident Evil 9 pre-ordered with a gift card. That I'm very excited for that game to come out. And Volume 1 of Something is Killing the Children, Absolute Wonder Woman. Which I'm considering just getting volumes for these stories. Yeah, don't forget, JS, that the hardcovers for Something is Killing the Children, they collect volumes 1 through 3. They skip volume 4 and then go 5, 6, 7. Because volume 4 and I believe volume 8 are technically prequel stories. So, somebody got Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight or Hollow Knight Silksong? I haven't played either of them. Wait, let me correct that. I have played Hollow Knight. I never beat it. I don't think I own it technically. So I want to get all of IDW. So far I have Phase 2, Volume 2, but I've read all of them in line. Yeah. Good luck, Toucan. Those books are expensive. Of IDW 1.0. The first Hollow Knight. Nice. A 3D printer. Oh, man. How does your wife handle the growing collection of comics? I'm sure the house is probably getting full of those. Cryptic, all the comics remain in the office / reading room, which is where I am right now. So it all stays up in there. It all stays up in there. Let's check my camera here to make sure it's still running. Okay, it is good. And chat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of move my microphone up here. So I'm going to stand. We had a little change in the office over the holidays. So my camera is way over here, but the monitor is way over there. So I'm probably going to do some stuff and talk, and then I'll hop over and try and read chat. It's just kind of the way that things are set up. This is my setup for filming my videos for Cowboy Hat Comics, where I have the comic on the table itself and I kind of flip through it. So I think the angle of the camera is a little bit closer than it normally is. It's just something OBS is doing. Normally this is a wider view, but that's fine. All right. So before we get into too much, I actually want to talk about this figure. I'm going to move my... Oh, let me bump the camera there. I want to talk about this guy. This was not a Christmas present. This is something I bought off of another creator about a month ago, and it just recently arrived here. Kind of got lost in the holiday mail. This is the... let me move my preview over so I can actually see. This is the... Hopefully that's in focus. This is the Reactivate Optimus Prime. I didn't really want to buy the multi-pack that came with him and Soundwave. I also did want to get the Bumblebee figure. I know they released him single in a single pack, but I didn't really want the Starscream that came with it, and I didn't get a chance to get Bumblebee. But I was able to get this guy for the Optimus Prime shelf. And this is a really solid figure, and I mean that in that his shoulders, this copy is very, very tight. I don't know if I can really see that, but you got to put a decent amount of weight to move these shoulders. But I'm also just really, really shocked at how dense and high quality this figure is coming from Hasbro. He has a few, hollow sections. Let's see if I get the light in there like that. But the normal hollow sections, like his legs, are not. He's just a really solid figure. And so I'm really surprised they have not released this guy as a single carded figure. Even just put him in concept series, But he's really fun. I will say the one problem I have with him is the peg on his Ion Blaster is so short. Let me turn on another light here. The peg on his Ion Blaster is so short that it can barely even sit in his hand. Like, it can sit there, but as soon as you move it, it is just so loose. I know other people have complained about his Energon axe, given the fact that it's one-sided. I get it. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Just keep it in his hand a particular way. So, yeah. Chest does open up. I think his left... Oh, we got another ad. His left window on his chest is a little loose. I have a lot of ads on this music. Somebody says, I got the other Reactivate set and wish they'd redo Starscream as Earthspark Starscream. It's the shortest 5mm peg I've ever seen. Yeah, it's tiny. It's like, again, man, I need to figure out this setup a little bit better. It is tiny. I believe, well, that one's fine. The fact that that one's a little bit smaller is okay, but it really is tiny. And they've obviously made a cutout right here so that it can fit up onto his hand. But it's just, as you can see here, it kind of perfectly lines up. It's just still so small. Like, it just needed to be a tiny bit longer, and it would have been perfect. So, but yeah, Matrix, the regular Matrix that we've been getting for a long time, which I'm not a toy reviewer, but lots of toy reviewers say we need a new Matrix. I don't know. This one's fine. Never bothered me, so put that back in there. But yeah, he's gonna be going up on the Optimus Prime shelf. Really fun transformation to this guy too. I was messing around with him earlier today, and just really fun. Yeah, so this is a really, I'm very surprised. I really feel like if they release this figure just as a standard Voyager, it would sell well. Well, I say that, but with the price of Voyagers going up, I'm sure people would be, upset that he's more expensive now than he was before. But he came in a 2-pack, I would not be disappointed. I mean, I paid over Voyager price for this guy, so, I paid about $40 for him, so, $45 I think, so, and I'm very happy with him. I do kind of wish these right here would go anywhere. They're there for transformation. They kind of close in, but really not that big of a deal. But yeah, he's just a really solid figure, and he's really well designed, so we're going to kind of keep him, see if we can kind of keep him up there in the corner while we go through some other stuff. Let me look at chat here. Toucan's asking what got you into comics. It actually was I've read comics before, Toucan. I was never really super into them, but going through Transformers and then starting the channel here really got me back into comics. And then just reading all of Daniel Warren Johnson's work. This is not Daniel Warren Johnson. I mean, this is his cover, but reading all of his works really got me into comics. So a lot of this stuff that we're going to look is going to be retread if you follow the second channel, Cowboy Hat Comics. So if you're interested, if you're not following that channel and you want to know more about my comic journey in general, then there is a link. I'll put it here in the chat again real quick, actually. That link right there is for Cowboy Hat Comics. That's the channel where I cover comics on a regular basis. So, if you're aware of this channel at all, then you know I've been pretty harsh on Void Rivals. I don't hate Void Rivals. I don't think it's a bad comic. I've just been very harsh on what they've been doing with it. If you have not been following Cowboy Hat Comics, I really would ask that you do, because I am covering Void Rivals and G.I. Joe on a monthly basis over there. And a little spoilers for my thoughts on this issue. I actually really like it. I really like what they're doing in Void Rivals now. My criticisms in the past have been that Void Rivals was becoming less and less about Derek and Celila, the main characters, and it was really just focusing on every other character that they could, including Skuxoid, which I like. Skuxoid is always the exception to the rule, but I really wanted it to refocus on the original ideas, that being, you know, the Agronians and the Zertonians. And so this is, at least so far, is kind of a return. Let me move that light so it's not shining so bright. Is kind of a return to that for now. So I've actually really been enjoying this issue of Void Rivals. So I know, surprise, surprise, Delta went from the #1 Void Rivals hater to the #1 Void Rivals lover. So yeah, if you're interested, Cowboy Hat Comics, it's where I'm covering these as well as G.I. Joe. So I'm once again excited to see where Void Rivals is going. Everything else here is pretty much for... Well, no, that's not true. A lot of the rest of this stuff is for Mrs. Tryon. She's recently got into collecting comics herself. She's doing the Disney stuff, mainly the Disney villain stuff, but Lion King is ongoing right now. That's her favorite Disney movie. And so I don't think she's read this issue just yet. This is a prequel series. This is a story that's happening before the Disney movie, Lion King. So this is issue 2, just came out, and then I've been trying to collect the rest of the Disney villain series. That these have come and gone for the most part. Hades issues 3 and 4, Maleficent. What is this? 5, 4, and 3. Trying to grab all those. For me, Knights vs. Samurai, this is a series by David Dastmalchian, the actor. It did not do well. It had 6 issues and then was canceled, unfortunately. So I haven't read through it just yet. But I really do just love the artwork on these. So not sure why it's got canceled. I'm guessing its sales just weren't great. It was rumored that it would be put in a collected trade paperback, but honestly, I don't think that's going to happen. So that's why I'm trying to collect the series in general. Of course, Helen of Windhorn, one of my favorite comics of all time. This is issue 6. I have the hardcover, and we'll be getting the deluxe hardcover in February when it comes out. But comics that I truly absolutely love, I will also collect in single format, such as my favorite comic of all time, of course, God Country, which I need to finish my God Country video on talking about. This is my favorite comic of all time. This is issue 4, second printing. Just a really nice kind of negative cover on this. So I'm gonna move my mic down, and we'll kind of look at chat here real quick, see what people have been yapping about. Oh, I already see somebody saying hypocritical Delta. Yep. Do you plan on getting Kian's TFA Bumblebee Prime fan comic? I've already read it. I'm not gonna buy a physical copy. I really like that he does that. I think that's great. Does this camera need to refocus? I've read it, and I believe I might have read a little bit of the next one, but I'm not going to cover it. I don't cover fan projects, really. So, yeah, Chris says, typical hypocrite Delta, probably about Void Rivals, so I can smell that new comic from here. Jay says, I'm still checking to this day on what alternate cover would be for book 2. I'm still thinking it's either Skuxoid or Springer. It's probably going to be Springer is my guess. So, what's God Country about? God Country, great question again. I know I'm kind of behind on chat here. God Country is a story. Man, I want to gush about it, but I also don't want to, because I'm trying to I'm trying to wait till my full video that I'm writing for Cowboy Hat Comics, which is a very Delta Tryon styled video. It's probably going to be an hour. God Country is about a man who is given a sword to fight demons and a god. And you hear that and you might be like, oh, okay, sure, whatever. It's a normal comic. But as it turns out, the man in question has Alzheimer's. And so he's suffering from that disease. But when he holds this sword known as Valifax, he actually regains all of his memories. So it's really a story about generational trauma and fathers and sons and also grandparents and children. And it's just a really impactful story by Donny Cates. So again, I will be talking about that more when it comes time. So I saw somebody ask a question about Windhorn. This week is going to be my start getting into Feral, mostly because the homage cover this week was for the first FNAF movie. Okay, I saw you post that. I don't think I've read through Feral, so. That Helen of Windhorn comic looks cool. Is it in paperback? So Helen of Windhorn is super awesome. Nerdicon. There is no trade paperback. Let me grab it real quick here, actually. There is not a trade paperback, but the hardcover is super easily available. This is the best way to read it. They just didn't do a trade paperback. They just did a hardcover. This is great. If you're a fan of DC, then if you know they're making that it's not Wonder Woman, Supergirl movie, Woman of Tomorrow. The same people who wrote that comic, which is Tom King and artist Belquist Evely, they worked on this book as well. So yeah, it's a beautiful book, incredible story. I do actually have a video about it on Cowboy Hat Comics that goes through this entire story. Highly recommend it. So this is the easiest way to get it right now, is this hardcover. They are releasing a deluxe version of the hardcover next year in February, so I will get that. So I'll have the deluxe hardcover, the regular hardcover, and then all the singles. So highly recommend it. I have not read Woman of Tomorrow yet by Tom King and Belquist Evely. I need to read it before the film comes out. So highly recommend it. It's such a great book. It really is. And I absolutely love the art. Let me catch up here on chat. Would you cover the Sandman comics? No, there's just so much of them. And I feel like they get a bad rap these days just because of the creator. That's not to say the comics are bad. There's so many of them. Would you rather have a really good Transformers movie come out that does well at the box office, or a really good Transformers game that does? I feel like we're overdue for a game, honestly. Do you read all the issues that you get with alt covers, or that come in the volumes or books? So everything, well, hopefully everything I get I will read at some point. I try my hardest not to collect singles of things that I don't read. For the most part, if there's a series I want to read, I will always go for a collected edition. That's just the way I am. If I really love that series, then I will go collect the singles if possible. But if there's a series that's already out, it's completed, it's in a hardcover or a trade paperback, I will prioritize that rather than having singles. So, Delta, you need to read TK Mr. Miracle. I've heard a lot about Mr. Miracle. Are there, Bill, inform me, are there multiple different comic series runs of Mr. Miracle? I've heard other comic creators say that Mr. Miracle is really good, but I'm assuming there's a lot of different runs. So which one is it that I need to read? Put this book back. Waddle back over here. No, just 12 issues? All right. I know I need to look into it. I know. Okay, so we went through the singles. Move those aside. Make sure I don't destroy them when I move them aside. And let's go over some Christmas stuff. I'm also going to grab Optimus out of here. Another advertisement. Man, I picked a bad Christmas music thing. There's just so many ads on it. Would you ever cover Dreamwaves, Transformers, or Marvel G1? You know, a lot of people want me to. It's just there's so much of it. I don't feel like I have anything new to say that other people haven't. I don't really cover issues on or comics on an issue-to-issue basis. I do character analysis, or I try to. So I don't think there's really much for me to cover when it comes to Dreamwave or Marvel G1. I'm still working on my Autocracy video, and that's, taking me forever. So, speaking of Marvel G1, 1 and 2. Very nice books. Love these books. Super awesome covers by Daniel Warren Johnson. Happy to get these. These guys are pretty thick books, Very light though. Very very happy how light these are and how you can move them. It's the Transformers Bibles, yeah. Something I find funny is that I'll have people ask me what my favorite G1 Marvel G1 era comic is. See you, Sprinty. But they'll ask me what my favorite issue is, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. It's been 10 years since I've read these. And they're like, well, if you're a real Transformers fan, you would have remembered what your favorite issue is. This is a lot of comics. And when you haven't read these in 10 years, you're bound to forget them. So I have read these. Do I remember what they are? No, absolutely not. Now, if you start talking about them, I'm sure I'll be like, oh, yeah, I vaguely remember that. But this is a lot of material. So, oh, man. Nerdonic asks, after the Power Glide short story you did, would you do another short? And if so, who would be your next pick? It's okay, Nerdicon. Thank you for bringing up the Power Glide short story. There will be more. I've already written a few more. I don't want to reveal too early who's going to be the next subject of that audiobook series, because I always go back and forth on which story needs to be told next. So don't forget about the 84 TF Marvel prequel comics. Oh man. Now I got to get the compendium for the UK books. Yeah. I did not go in on the Kickstarter version of these. A friend of the channel, Moonbase3, did. He was showing me some of his copies. They look really nice. I didn't need them. They were expensive. I got it. These do just the job right. But yeah, those compendiums from the Kickstarter version do look really nice. Expensive, but not quite for me. Diaclona. Uh-oh. Diaclona finished the vlog. Holy cow, hand reveal? I'm sorry, Diaclona. I can't do the Peter Griffin voice for you. Diaclona TFCon vlog, possibly starring myself. Not in person, sadly. Maybe in a few years. Krista says that's like asking what your favorite issue of Archie Sonic's 500-year run is. How the hell are you going to remember the specific issue when something happened? Exactly. I know people who ask that mean well. They want to know what my favorite issue is. But again, it's so much, and it's been so long since I've read them. Beast Wars is, here's a great example. Beast Wars is my favorite Transformers show of all time. I've watched it so many times. I cannot tell you which episode comes where. I can't. And there's some episodes I'm sure I've forgotten, but I definitely need to do a Beast Wars rewatch here. Maybe in the new year. Yeah, you're the tertiary protagonist. Tertiary. Diaclone, I can't say that. You're going to have to get Vangelis to say that. So, the compendiums are really hurting my wallet, but it's okay. It's worth it. Again, in stock trades, not sponsored. I wish I was, though. Shock Blast says, hey, how are you doing today? Hope your family are doing great. We are doing well. Thanks for asking. Delta, I copped both compendiums for $68 each on Boxing Day. Very nice. Yeah, they're very hefty books, and these were gifts to me from some extended family, and I did not specify which covers, but I am glad that I got both Daniel Warren Johnson covers, because that's really what I wanted. Oh wow, look at that! I randomly opened to one of the most iconic pages from the series. That's actually, we're gonna have to leave that there for a second. How do you like that? Can I do that with Compendium 1? Can I just randomly open Compendium 1 and get a... Nah, Not really. Nah. We're trying to recreate it. Well, there we go. We'll get Transformers Are All Dead. So. But. You should read us every page of the compendium slow enough that we can all read it. Yeah. Well, Diaclona, you say that I still need to work on the audiobooks for those 3 Transformers Prime novels. So the problem is that what's taking so long on those is I will sit down and read for like an hour and then go back to edit the audio, and I just don't want to listen to my voice for an hour. So have you read the manga, the ones that cover the Japanese? I have not. I need to collect those. Diaclonus, is that the one where Transformers? We're Transformers from America. Yeah. I do need to collect those. I've seen those in stores a few times, but I need to go in and grab those. That way I can kind of update the shelf here to have all of Generation 1. Ford Max. This is actually really cool to kind of flip through. Unicron. This is the section where they did the film, right? Yeah, there's Galvatron. They did some of the events of the film, I know. You should do ASMR readings of the compendiums. That's too much. That is too much. Too much work. If I fully committed myself, like every bit of free time that I had to work on those 3 Transformers Prime novels, there would probably not be a Delta Trion video for at least 2 years. So that's kind of the payoff. Is I can focus on that if you guys want, but you just won't hear from me for 2 years, and I don't know if I want to do that. I want to collect the volume so bad. Megatron looks so cool. Do you have a stream overlay at Delta? What do you do if you gotta hear it? If you mean the PNG tuber, I don't. I do have I have other stream stuff, like the post-Christmas live stream stuff. And if I gotta urinate, I have the BRB. Just in case. Speaking of movie, do you have the IDW miniseries recovering the 86 movie? I've read it. I don't own it. Surprising how similar Marvel Optimus Cybertron alt mode is later. So it looks similar to one Cybertronian mode. I wonder if that was intentional. I don't know. Am I peeing on my dogs? No, I would never do that, Diaclona. I love my dogs. I have both compendiums, but someday I want to get the Till All Are One Kickstarter books. Yeah. Those are the ones that I was talking about that Moonbase showed off there. They look really fun. Okay, let's do something crazy. Let's move these books to the side. This is probably going to be a little difficult because I'm gonna have to stand and not be able to read chat as well as I am normally. So I'm gonna take all the comics here that I have bagged and boarded. That one is not bagged and boarded yet, which needs to be. The ones that are not bagged and boarded, I'll work on those. But these, and I'll probably make a video out of this for the second channel. Did you ever enjoy Beast Machines as much as Beast Wars? So, a great question, Shock Blast. I got really close to making a Beast Machines video, but I didn't just because of the length that it would be. I really do enjoy Beast Machines. It's weird. It's very off-putting. I understand that. But the things it's trying to do, I feel like, story-wise, it does well. I just think that it's a strange product of its time. I should probably talk about Beast Machines at some time. Would you recommend collecting IDW Rebooted Universe? If you're talking about IDW 2.0, IDW 2.0 is slow. I don't necessarily think it's boring. Beast Machines cheat us. I have a video, Toucan, on... Wow, this is not going to work very well. I have a video, Toucan, on IDW 2.0 that you can watch. It's called When Transformers Are Human. So it's It's definitely an interesting series. Second season of Beast Machines is better than the first because the characters aren't weirdly angry at each other. Yeah, season 1 is strange because everybody's just so grumpy at each other. All right, let's see if there's a way that I can do this. I'm gonna put you guys on the BRB screen real quick as I try and adjust our camera view here. See if I can do this. Talk amongst yourselves. Be nice to each other, though. Please. If you can. I don't think this camera setup is going to work for this. This is not going to work. So let me try. Let me try and do a little. The Cliff Jumper one shot is so good. Yeah, no, there's some definitively really great stories told in why can't I think of what it is? IDW 2.0. There really is. I think as a whole, it's a very slow series, which is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. Has everyone liked the stream? Guys, don't listen to Diclona. She's trying to make me into a real streamer, and y'all know I'm not. Okay, we're just gonna try and do. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the camera to focus. Okay, it will focus. It's probably going to be jumping back and forth on focus, so I apologize. We're going to do it like this. It's probably very blurry. Brother, you have a live stream. What are you talking about? You are one. No, I'm not a streamer. No way. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through my comic box. This needs to be rearranged because this is overstuffed. Thankfully, I did get a second one, but this I need to. So I'll talk about this. Let me grab that box. Normal comic boxes, short boxes, long boxes, or white cardboard boxes. They're fine. I like them. I originally got these boxes, which are a type of fabric. The problem with these is because they fold up, the edges of the box, you can kind of see here, the seam line right here in the corner. Bends outwards, so the comics end up pushing outwards. So what I need to do is take some comics out of here so it's not so full, and then put some heavy cardboard in here to kind of help protect them. So that way when the comics are in there, they can sit flat, and they're not currently they've got just a slight little bend to them like that, and we don't want that. They can be straightened out, but let's go through and decide what's going to come out and go into the second box. So starting back here, focus, please, focus. Camera, there we go. Let's actually give this a little more height. That way. For reference, my camera is sitting on top of the Transformers compendiums. They're that big. That's what they're being used for. They're not being used to read the comics. They're being used as a height extenders for my camera. So, of course, it's not focusing anymore. Okay. Sword of Crisis Events issue 4. I think I have 5 here. Yeah, both really good issues. The whole series is really good. It can be a little disturbing at times. Focus, please. So, but it's really good stuff. You know, actually, let's start at the front here, because I know that here's Void Rivals. Actually, what I'll probably do is take all the Energon Universe stuff out and have it in a separate box. So here's a Void Rivals issue 1. This is a really cool cover that they recently did. Is this the 11th printing, I think? Yeah, 11th printing. Really cool cover. We're going to take him out. We're going to remove all Energon Universe stuff. Issue 24. These are not in any specific order, really. 23, I don't know where... Wait, no, it's 22. Do I have 23? Oh, yeah, there's 23. The Wheelie and Pythona cover. See, this is the thing... I'm going to talk about Void Rivals here real quick. I enjoy Void Rivals. This is the thing. I wanted Void Rivals to be about these characters. You know, Skuxoid, Salila, Derek. And a lot of the times it was just being like, here's Pythona and Wheelie, who I'm fine learning about. But it's like when every single issue had one page dedicated for each character, each issue was like... It moved really slow. Anyways, enough about Void Rivals. We're not here to fight about Void Rivals. I enjoy Void Rivals. Do you like collecting comics more than toys? Yeah, I think I do. It's a little bit cheaper. 21, issue 20, which is Skuxoid. These are all out of order, by the way. As I'm pulling them out, we'll put them back in order. The shoebox storage technique. Oh yeah, so this is a funny story. I'm collecting these to the series. This is back around issue 21, I think, of Transformers. I have the Transformers and G.I. Joe cover, but I don't have the Void Rivals one. So these are 3 comics that'll combine together to make one kind of large collage picture. So I need to go back and find the Void Rivals issue. Let's vanish. Okay, yeah. Transformers 24. Great stuff. Oh, nope. Don't take Vantage. Vanish, whatever it's called. Daniel Warren Johnson cover, by the way. Very nice. 23. Great. Hey, MB. What's up? Great cover here. That's what I did. Mine's in a separate box, except some loose books are in a shoe box. Makes sense. 23 again. Where's Superion? I will say I do really love this cover, but this really weirded me out at first. I'm like, what is on his... Oh, it's his arm. I was just confused by it. Do you think you could take Daniel Warren Johnson in a boxing match? No, I think he would win. He's a very peaceful person, from what I've seen, but he's much more in shape than I am. So I do not believe that I could take him in a boxing match. I don't think we would box. But I mean, if you can set it up, Diaclona, absolutely. Absolutely. Bill has a great point. Not in wrestling. Yeah, definitely not in wrestling. This is an issue 2 cover. I don't recall the artist, but this is a really nice one as well that I really enjoy. I really wish that this light wasn't so bright over here. You can't really see. So I'm going to stand up and pull some of these out so it's a little easier. Energon Universe specials now. Yeah, free comic book day. Alright. So that's just the Energon Universe stuff that we took out of there. And that's not all my Energon Universe stuff. I have an Energon Universe shelf that I'm collecting all of those in. So I'm just going to put these in a new box here real quick. And just kind of put this over here. That way we can put these new comics away. Paper Plane says go faster. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to go as fast as we can. as fast as we can. All right. Let's put Helen of Windhorn and Hades away here. See if we can flip to that. There's Huck. 6. Let's get... Sorry, that's issue 5. Let's get... Come on. Let's get issue 6 in there. So yeah, there's 6, 5. I think I'm missing 2, aren't I? Issue 4. Another issue 4. Issue 3. Yeah, and then issue 1. So I just need issue 2. And I also have one of the black and whites, which hopefully I'll be able to get signed by Belquist Evely. God Country is here, issue 4. That's issue 6. 5. Come on, where's issue 4? There's 4. Multiple issues, multiple copies of that. Hades, I should have kept my place in there. Helen. Huck. Oh wait, you know what? I think I might be. Am I doing? Yeah, I'm doing. I'm collecting the Disney ones under Disney Villains. So back in D, here's S for Scar. Can my camera focus in on that? Maybe. Hercules. There's Hades. So it's Hades 1, 3, 4. Let's keep going back in here. Interesting. I thought I had. Oh, there's Maleficent. There's Maleficent 1. We'll put 4 in there again. I have the other issues, but they need to be bagged and boarded, and I just haven't gotten to that just yet. Love how this is constantly out of focus. Invisible Man. So, what are you guys talking about here in chat? What are you guys arguing about? Who'd you cast to be the voice of Cliffjumper for the Amazon EU Transformer show? Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea. Oh, also love, I'm just now realizing that my camera has been shaking this whole time. Great, that's wonderful. That's what happens when you don't plan any of this stuff. So. I have a question, Delta. So, Braun was shot right through the chest. Where the spark is located, he returned, but Bumblebee was shot in the head. Where the spark isn't, how does that work? MB, I would highly suggest you go... listen to the Teletran Tapes episode for that issue. That way you will know that myself and our other hosts, we too would like to know. We too would like Robert Kirkman to explain how this works. You know, Braun is shot through the chest in the Energon Universe special. He becomes a donut, as Swizz Prime says, and he can come back, but Bumblebee can't. I don't... here's the thing. I don't need it to be over-explained. I don't need Robert Kirkman to go in there and explain every single detail of how the Cybertronians work. But if he's going to offer up explanations as to why some characters can come back and some can't, I need him to be consistent about it. I would have been perfectly fine with him saying, hey, we don't have enough Energon to bring Bumblebee back. And be like, okay. But the fact that they're like, well, he's too far gone. I'm like, well, he just got his jaw shot off. So, who knows? Maybe they'll reveal it in time. I think Robert Kirkman had good intentions, but I just don't think that he was able to pull it off correctly. So, you know. I think we can absolutely count on Kirkman's plot synopsis being completely irrelevant to what happens in the issue. Yeah, that's very Kirkman. The summaries almost never match up to what's happening. Diaclona, high-key worry that Kirkman's gonna hand-wave a lot of the more fatal injuries just to keep characters he likes alive. I found Jetfire's sudden return to health very stakes-lowering. Yep, I do. I agree. I think that's something that Kirkman's gonna be doing. So a shot from Starscream is death, but a literal shot to the spark with Megatron, and you survive. That's dubious. Yeah. You know, I did 2 videos on this most recent issue with Kirkman. I was not the hugest fan of it, but then I also did a video where I talk about the things that I enjoy Kirkman has been doing. So overall, you know, I am a little worried, but the comic will continue. So Ratchet also became a donut because of Shockwave. He did, and he's too far gone. His spark is too far gone. Makes sense. He got shot in the chest. Cool. Bumblebee got shot in the face. His spark is too far gone. Oh. Okay then. Again, if they want to keep the rules vague, that's fine. But if they're going to explain things, then they need to keep it consistent. Again, I think Kirkman worked himself into a little bit of a corner. I think it would have been better if they just said, whoa, we got Brawn back, and Bulkhead, and Mirage. Oh, man, but we just don't have enough Energon to get Bumblebee back. I'd be like, okay, cool. Yeah, makes sense. But they need to send Jazz to Mexico like an IDW. Yeah. MB says, but then Shockwave is also back. MB, I don't mind the fact that Shockwave is back. I need to finish up another video I have, which talks about, the stakes of comics and characters coming back from death. I'm fine with Shockwave being back. I don't think his needs to be explained. I'm okay if Shockwave is that character who's constantly coming back or who just cannot die. It doesn't bug me as much. I don't think that every character needs to stay dead. I'm okay if Ratchet or Bumblebee or other characters come back, given it's done in a good way, given there's enough time and it's done correctly. It's just a case-by-case scenario, It's comics. Characters are going to come back, so. Dude is straight up too logical to die. Yeah. I don't know if Optimus can handle Bumblebee come back. Yeah, no, it's definitely still too early for Bumblebee to come back in my mind. It's too early for that. And I think it seems like Kirkman is respecting that decision. So, yeah. At this point, it's hard to tell what choices in the new run are weird writing moments or intentionally done that way to pay it off later. Yeah. Said in your server, but Shockwave kind of needs to be there to give stakes to the Cybertron side of the story. Yeah, they could have chosen somebody else, but again, I don't mind Shockwave being back. It did not bug me. When I saw it, I was like, oh, cool. Cool. What if Bumblebee came back as Goldbug? Originally, Goldbug was supposed to be a more mature version of Bee. Yeah, everybody's saying that Goldbug is going to come back, and I'm just going to say this. I'm fine with the idea of Goldbug, but when you think of the comic in terms of getting new readers in, it's hard for me to justify the fact that they would use Goldbug when Bumblebee is so much more well known by people outside of the franchise. So what would Skybound and Kirkman rather have? An opportunity to have Bumblebee, probably the most famous Transformer ever, come back to the comics and be a big, huge selling point, or have Goldbug? People who are outside of the community aren't going to know who Goldbug is. And so a comic cover with Bumblebee being like, Bumblebee's back is better for sales than it is for Goldbug. And again, the fans know who Goldbug is, yeah. But in terms of people outside, regular comic readers that they're trying to grab and bring in, which is a good thing, I think Bumblebee just makes a little bit more sense. So, also, Bumblebee, Goldbug, they're the same guy. I know they're an upgraded version, but Bumblebee is a smarter marketing decision. I feel like that one person who's not on the inside joke with a group of people because I'm not up to date with the comics. But Shockwave returns. He does. He does return. Again, I'm probably gonna. I need to make that video. I'm not against characters returning in the comic. I just think that it can be done correctly. And I think it can be done incorrectly, and it's a case-by-case scenario. I am not of the opinion, and I'm very clear about this, that bringing a character back from the dead completely undoes the meaning of their death. I don't believe that. Again, it can be done correctly, and it can be done incorrectly. There can be good points to it, and there can be bad points to it. Daniel Warren Johnson did it. Daniel Warren Johnson killed off Jetfire. In issue 1 or issue 2? And then he's brought back. It doesn't undo his death. It just complicates the matter. Now, that being said, he could have very well undone his death if he wrote it incorrectly. So, the actual act of bringing a character back from the dead, I don't think is wrong. And I don't think it ruins anything. It's how you do it. It's how you handle it. So, yeah, if Bumblebee came back to life and he was just there and there was no fanfare, there was nothing about it, he was just like, hey, I'm here. that would absolutely ruin it. It would. Absolutely. If they can find a way to write it correctly, then sure, do it. Of course, why not? It's Bumblebee. So, take a drink of water here as I'm dying. Whatever happened to Optimus' trailer? I don't know. I don't know what happened to his trailer. I think because his trailer's not a character, they're not as concerned with having it be present at all times. So, see if I can get this Optimus in a decent pose. Oh, this guy can crouch. There we go. That guy can. This figure can crouch. He's got some strong joints to him. Look at that. Very impressive. Again, very impressed with this figure. Really like this guy. Where's Roller and Sky Spy? I love Carl's point on Teletran Tapes 27. If not Shockwave, who else? Yeah, that is a good point. We need Grimlock and Skybound ASAP. So, MB, I do agree with you that I would love to see the Dinobots. However, again, I need Kirkman to slow down with how many characters he's adding. So, recently, Bumblebee has become a poster boy for Transformers in the recent years, where both Sideburn and Hotshot were the poster boy for Transformers of the 2000s. Yeah, I truly believe that, and some people disagree with me on this, and that's fine, that Bumblebee is, well, for a while, Bumblebee, I think, was more well-known than Optimus Prime. I think now it's maybe leveled out a little bit more, but I still think Bumblebee is just a little bit more recognizable in general. So, you're right. He would also be way too overpowered. Yeah. So, does this mean that Delta Trion's never going to cover Skybound? No, I'm still covering Skybound. Just because I'm not happy with every decision being made right now doesn't mean that I'm checked out. Of course not. What else would I do on this channel? This is the whole channel. It's Skybound. It's because the movies made him into their Pikachu. Absolutely. Yeah, no, you're right, Chris. Absolutely. The Transformers movie franchise made Bumblebee the most well-known Transformer ever. And I think that's fine. And we had a huge influx of Bumblebee stuff for a long time, and I'm guessing I believe if I recall correctly, that's why Daniel Warren Johnson didn't want to use Bumblebee, because he said he had his fill of Bumblebee and he wanted to focus on other characters. So I think it is smart that they are continuing to hold back on just bringing Bumblebee in and being like, it's Bumblebee, he's the main character, you know. I think it's smart. I appreciate that Robert Kirkman has not brought him in. I'm opening something here in the background. Sorry if it's noisy. Something else for Christmas was a few of these comic book frames, so I need to test those out and see how they work. Just a regular frame system. Get some comics signed at some point. Whoa. It's also why G1 Bumblebee is given so much merch despite him being just a guy in the show. That's really fun to me. Yeah, it's true. See you, Nerdonic. Thanks for swinging by. Really appreciate having you here. How long has this been going for? Been going for an hour. I think we've kind of covered everything we can. We've covered this figure, which is super fun. Really having a fun time with this guy. The 2 compendiums back there. We went through some single issue comics. I need to bag and board some comics. Again, if you're interested in comics in general, beyond Transformers, Cowboy Hat Comics, I'm posting there a lot more often. I will say this. Oh, I actually just thought of something else that we can talk about here. But I'm doing a series beginning of next year where I read through every single comic on my shelf on Cowboy Hat Comics. So that's going to be fun. It's a series of shorts on YouTube. So please, if you're interested in that, that's going to be a fun time. Something else I want to talk about is, let me pull it up, the recent audiobook that we did on the channel. That being yours truly, Powerglide. Of course, there's advertisements on my own video when I'm trying to watch them. There better not be mid-roll ads on this video. I never use mid-roll ads on my videos. So if there is a mid-roll ad on here, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a huge problem. There better not be. Okay, let me... You know what? Let me just add this into OBS. That way we can have the image up here. Image. Let me click through here real quick, guys. I gotta go find the image now. If you have not, if you've not taken a listen, then I would highly suggest and ask that you listen to the newest audiobook on the channel, Yours Truly, Powerglide. It was a lot of fun to put together. These projects are always super fun to put together. I'm bringing up the key art here. There we go. Oh, it's just going to turn on. This was a really fun project to do. This key art is done by the amazing Cheesy Cryptid out on Instagram. She is just a fantastic artist. Everything she does is just so amazing. We worked together on a project already. It was the Optimus Prime story, so we did Powerglide and Astoria this time. What I'm probably going to do a behind-the-scenes video for this one, mainly because I have so much I want to talk about this project and how fun it was to do, how it came about, where the idea of the story came from, the process of getting everybody together, and the process that Cheesy did in making the art, where I'm going to do a kind of a short interview with her. So these projects are my favorite things to work on the channel, and so I want to talk about it even more. So 2026 is the year where I will actually read and I won't procrastinate, and we'll see about that. We'll see about that. Dude, your audiobooks are so peak, always a delight to hear. TFI as well, can't wait for more if you plan on doing anything else. Thank you, Sprinty. I do. There's a few more stories that have been written. They need to be cleaned up, and then I need to decide which of those stories are going to be the next ones to be made, because I want to make them all, but it's all, you know, logistics and whatnot. I will say that I'm trying to think if I can say this. I am fairly confident that the next audiobook will be covering another Minibot. Another Autobot Minibot. So I think that's fair to say. Yeah, probably. So, which Autobot Minibot? I don't know. Cosmos? I don't know. Could be Cosmos. Could be, who else is there? Could be Sea Spray. Could be Brawn. Could be Cliff Jumper. Could be Beachcomber. We kind of already covered Bumblebee. So, I'm such a good predictor. So many different characters to cover. So, yeah, definitely a really fun series to continue. And they do line up. These stories are meant to line up in a sense. You know, these are obviously stories that focus on specific characters rather than an overall huge story, but they do line up. If you're unaware, and I'll talk about this in the behind the scenes video, but the ending of Yours Truly, Powerglide has Bumblebee obviously flying to drop off the letters from Powerglide to Astoria, and he even says that he's on his way home. So he's just left Optimus out in that farm when he's dropping those letters off. And so, has he already heard the signal from Optimus to come back and get him? I don't know. Does Bumblebee come back and get Optimus? Does Optimus go back to Cybertron? I don't know. I mean, I know, but you guys don't know. Who knows if those stories will ever be told? So it's gonna be Hauler, the Forgotten Seventh, Constructicon. If only. Okay, guys, I think that's I think that's all I have, really. That's all I've got to show off and talk about, really, at this point. So thanks for stopping by. I always enjoy doing these last minute no announcement streams. Had quite a few people show up to this one. A lot of other creators like Paper Plane and Diaclona. Always nice to have them pop in. So I'm gonna leave this running just for a little bit, and everybody have a great. Hope everybody had a great Christmas and holidays, and we still got New Year's coming up. So spend that time with the people you love. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.